song for a movie podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buns. Let's go!
Hello and welcome to Cinema Buns. I'm Ritter.
I'm Mike.
And I'm 100.
Huh.
Mob 100?
Mob Psycho.
61,
Yeah, this is going to be a much more freeform episode than what we
Happy
normally
100, everyone.
do. Woo!
We are recording on
Wait.
9/11.
God.
Okay, you didn't have to say that.
While most people are remembering something else, those of us who are based.
Hold on. We can fix this. Let's have a minute of silence for that. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And then you're just going to edit like a minute of silence, right? We don't actually have to stand here.
I mean, yeah, I could.
No, just remember to record this part, okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'll
right.
make sure to cut this out. Okay.
Okay.
And 100.
You could just like do like press a minute out.
So,
Just cut it in the center and then just move it out to a minute.
you assume that wasn't a bit and that I'm not going to just keep this all in.
I know. We're terrible people. We held on for 10 seconds.
No, yeah. So this is our 100th upload of the podcast, and we kind of just wanted to take a minute and just kind of talk about the podcast, talk about what we've done so far, and because for those of you that
State of the channel, State of the Union.
and I mean we have such a large fan base. Like this fan letter from talks about how
Actually, let's go to our mail.
No.
Actually, what's special about this episode is that periodically we will go through our DMs and our mailbag and then read viewer emails. This next one is... Wow, that was touching.
Yep.
No, I liked our humble beginnings and our humble current.
We have evolved sideways. No, yeah, because this started as a pandemic project where I was...
We didn't care about COVID. We were just going to still see each other anyway.
Well, I had been wanting to do something for movies for a while, and I had tried some stuff, and I just didn't like how it was turning out and what I was doing. So
If anyone's really good at detective work, you might be able to find Ritter's movie reviews.
fucking please don't.
God.
And if you're really good at detective work, you can find Let's Plays.
No, those are gone.
And if you're really good, you can find my music covers.
I will say I actually downloaded all of Ritter's reviews on YouTube.
You better be
And
fucking lying. You better be fucking...
I have them in a folder, actually. Hold on.
You better be fucking lying.
They're like loaded they're in case of emergency.
Because
Yeah,
I was
in
doing
case-
this dumb shit because I still worked for my previous job.
Do you
where
remember your mask? Do you remember your mask?
fuck you. Okay.
No, I mean like it's big now. There are people that like super anonymous type rebels.
No,
like,
yeah.
It's like kind of like a niche content.
I
where
was
have your face covered and you talk about how women are ruining feminism.
Yeah. No, I did do the mask thing for a bit, and fuck you for remembering. But
I didn't say what the mask was.
Yeah.
It's still cool though.
Why did you wink at Mike like that,
I
Kevin?
didn't wink.
I know. But no, yeah. So I wanted to do movies, and like Kevin, Mike, and I already did like bad movies.
Yeah, we were
it's-
already doing movies, like bad movies. like,
Amazon
in our
Prime
time.
is a gift that keeps on giving.
Yep.
And we are also children, so we watched cartoons. So
Hey, hold on.
what started out as just bad budget foreign animated ripoffs has turned into live action budget animated
Rip-offs.
live action budget rip-offs.
Yeah.
We become
Nice.
the rip-offs ourselves.
Yeah, because as the history of this podcast is, I just did the driest text message to you guys going, you guys want to do a podcast?
Yeah.
And I still remember we started with a single USB microphone.
And we all basically were just cheek to cheek, pointing our mouths towards a singular mic.
Yeah.
Indirect kisu.
Oh, God, and the audio quality was so bad.
No, it was fine.
Yeah.
Before we had an intro.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't hidden the early episodes either. So anyone who's listening, you go back far enough, you can find the fucking scuff.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, there is... So, for anyone that cares, if there's, like, a worry that we've moved away from, like, watching those types of movies, no, they're still in our heart.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as the next, like, Snow Queen drops in, then as soon as, like,
We're in.
Wiz Art animation comes out of the depths because it's fucking dead, then we're back in.
Dude,
As soon as
I'm so ready
another
for that.
Portuguese animation studio wants to rip off Elemental or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know, then we're in.
I mean, listen, I still check periodically if the next Snow Queen is coming out.
I do want Snow Queen. I unironically still want Snow Queen.
I mean,
They only gotten better.
yeah. Because what was the last, like, real, like, garbage shit we found that we ended up watching?
We watched Shark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty recent one.
Yeah, it would be that one for sure. We
Creed 3.
I was about to say Tar. It's not like it was Oscar nominated or anything.
Yeah.
But
What a good commercial for Monster Hunter.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I also cuz like we kind of planned this episode and I did like Kevin's like, "Oh, an episode about nothing. Great. No research needed." I did actually think about like, "Oh, you know what? Let me look through." And just thinking about like what we kind of changed as we went on, going from one USB mic to 3 USB mics, where I
And the
using 3
occasional
XLR
outsourcing.
mics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or don't forget the 3 USB mics going to 2 separate laptops because I couldn't get Audacity to take 3 different inputs on the same computer.
Of course not.
And then the
freeware you had to download in order to get multiple inputs in.
and then the
Yeah.
horrendous editing process I would have to do because of the horrendous recording setup we did.
Remember when we had a clap?
Oh God.
Like, unironically, we had a clap.
Yeah, and there were so many recordings that I had to re-edit literally an hour before they went up because when I listened to it, I went, "Huh, why does it suddenly become unsynced about an hour in?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. And then I finally got equipment that would work, and now we do it on XLR mics.
Now our
really dumb.
next budget our next like milestone is not using old ass AirPods to give to guests
actually
and actual like studio headphones that or like at least more professional looking ones that we're giving to guests
That aren't gamer headsets that we bring
God,
from
that's
covered
so
in
funny.
earwax.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the next business purchase.
Well, probably
Yeah,
also
fortunately-
like arms that are a little bit more portable, or like mic stands that are a little bit more portable, like just a little tiny one that you can put on a table.
yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
for those of you that I don't know. There are some people that have actually met us in person and like has seen us record out into the wild during like film festivals and stuff. It's just a table with a bunch of wires, with just wires, and then like all of us sitting in like chairs holding onto the microphones.
Yeah.
And so like that could be like cleaned up, but humble beginnings.
Yeah.
All of those have always been fun, and expect more for stuff like that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let me ask. to both of you guys, because Kevin, you made a joke about this in private once, where like, did you guys expect us to get to any point with the podcast where we'd actually be interviewing people?
I thought we'd be interviewing people, but not at the level we did.
Yeah.
Well, it's very refreshing and kind of like opens my eyes to see the myriad of like levels to the movie making industry.
Yeah.
Because like from an outside perspective, as soon as you can either be a hungry films studies major or like a big shot Hollywood director, and there's like no in between. And like going on this kind of like journey and going to festivals and stuff and like talking to people at all different rungs of the ladder, you can kind of just see like the different levels of where the film and filmmaking industry can be. Like there are hobbyists down at the bottom, and then there are people that are like using millions of dollars in budget to make just giant extravagant art pieces like at the top. And somewhere in the middle is like it's not like kind of just like, well, a lot of the time people don't see those movies in the first place unless you're like in festivals or you know someone who made it or starred in it, and then you would know that
and they throw a flash drive at you and you go, "What's this?" and they say, "Shut up."
Yeah, because it's kind of like an industry where you don't know the products of this hobby unless the person who made that movie in the first place is in a position that they can get it to you.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise, there are a lot of movies that unfortunately a lot of people aren't going to be able to see because the people who made it don't have the
don't have distribution.
The means to distribute it.
Yeah.
So you can't even see it on streaming. You might not be able to even see it anymore.
Yeah.
Because maybe it stopped at that like festival tour.
And like some of the movies we've seen at festivals and whatnot, some of them hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them really fantastic movies that I want to show more people, but I physically can't.
Yeah.
And then, you know, every once in a while, nepotism gets us into some back doors and we get to see, like, Creed 3 early or something.
Yeah.
That's true.
Shout out Frost.
Yeah. I always think it's funny where I thought you guys gave Jamie an original bit. I thought that was, like, an original bit for you guys.
Oh, you mean where we're like, Jamie, can you pull that up? Pull that up, Jamie?
You're not knowing that we're just, like, aping off of Jamie from the Joe Rogan experience?
Because I don't watch podcasts, right? Like
neither do we.
Especially back in the time, I didn't watch podcasts or listen to podcasts.
I do.
So when you guys, I didn't even know who Joe Rogan was at the time.
Did you ever watch Fear Factor?
No.
Like, you know what Fear Factor is, right?
Kevin,
I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
You have to remember, Mike did not exist until college.
I didn't know what the internet was until like I left high school.
Yeah, so what's kind of like interesting, because we're gonna just talk about Joe Rogan for a little bit, it's to pad out time and also to ape off, like all podcasters do. Joe Rogan, you know, is a comedian at first, that wasn't like, I mean, like his comedy's okay, still isn't getting him anywhere, or like too much. He's done like some tours and he's gotten some jobs out of it, but then his big break came when I don't know which network invented it, but like a network asked him to host Fear Factor, where people
that was the Sci-Fi Channel or whatever it's called.
No,
it doesn't feel like sci-fi.
No, it wasn't Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi ended up getting like programming for it, but they're not the ones that started it.
I don't know.
The MTV. That sounds like an MTV thing.
Maybe.
Probably.
But like, yeah, then he started hosting people. Discovery Channel.
It was not Discovery. See, back in those days, Mike, the Discovery Channel actually cared about like science and stuff.
It was an educational programming.
I thought the History Channel was the one that cared back in the day, but now only cares about aliens.
So it was NBC.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he got to host people eating bull penises.
And drinking semen.
and walking on glass and shit. And at the same time, he still always from the beginning always loved martial arts. And eventually was able to climb the ranks up to as UFC announcer.
Yeah.
And then just podcasting, and which is like kind of the ultimate freedom.
Yeah.
Like think about it. It's like something he loves. He gets to talk to. He still does like UFC stuff. He gets to talk to
He
a bunch
talks
of
to a colorful cast of people.
yes, and he still talks to his comedian friends. He's always like friends with. He still does. So he does like comedy, he does martial arts, and he does podcasting. It's like the dream come true for like Joe Rogan, like specifically.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad everyone could join us for this Joe Rogan podcast. No, yeah, I did not expect us to actually be interviewing people or showing up to events.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, it would be cool if we got to that, but who knows? And again, I think I brought this up before, but we actually started getting like a quote unquote tour going when I sent the driest email to
To famed Netflix writer Chris Lamont.
yes. Shout out to Chris if you're listening. You will always be special in our hearts as our first. Breaking our interview cherry. But no, I literally I found his contact info. I emailed him because like, hey, you wrote, we would love to get your perspective. And he's like, yeah, sure. When do you want to do it? And it wasn't until like after he said yes that I actually found out his connections within Arizona, and that he like literally is the founder and like started the Phoenix Film Festival. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh shit! And then we recorded, and he's like, hey, email this guy, and we said sure.
No. Real good guy, even though we were doing our best not to roast the movie.
Yeah, but
Well,
hey,
we saw 2 of his movies.
Yeah.
We made
Yeah,
fun
we
of the
saw
Bruce
2.
Willis one because dementia is funny. And
Yeah.
then the second one was like a very nice lifetime
yeah.
movie.
And we told him, we're like, hey, we're going to be honest. And it was funny because before the interview, I even sent him the episodes. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be honest. We did review these movies, and we liked this one. We weren't that big of a fan of this one. And he's like, oh, that's fine. And and even during the interview, he's like, yeah, no, I get it. Because also, like, for the Bruce Willis
It wasn't
one,
really what he wanted anyway.
yeah, like
Was that a hard kill?
What?
Was
Yeah,
that
hard
hard?
kill.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, hard
80%
kill,
of
yeah.
like 90% of the script got rewritten without their input before they
Yeah.
started filming. So it's like at that point, it's practically not even their movie anymore.
Bruce Willis was stuck in a closet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, Chris Lamont, very good guy, friend of the show, and like because of him, we were able to get to the Phoenix Film Festival, which was awesome. And then
Very much fun.
Very welcoming, especially
Yeah.
like that first
Yes.
night where we didn't stop talking for like
Oh,
3 hours.
God.
Oh God. I was not prepared for the level of
I did warn you
conversations
guys.
we had.
I'm like, hey, this is like an industry night, so be ready. And you guys are like, oh, okay. And then it started, and I just see there was one moment where I'm like, hey, Mike, and you turn to look at me, and you have this like wild look in your eyes of someone help me out of here.
No, because it was funny because I got kind of like stun locked almost in like a couple conversations that I couldn't get out of because they kept talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not like I don't want to talk to you. It's just that there's a line forming behind you of people who also need to talk to me.
And yeah, there was a joke in a super old episode we did where we were saying Arizona's the next Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like no matter where you go, there's some form of community, whether it's big or small. That's kind of up to you. But Arizona seems to have a very welcoming and very active film community.
Yeah.
And like,
ASU is just churning out a bunch of like amateur filmmakers.
yeah. And like some of it you really and like I wasn't fully aware of it until we started doing this, and then once I saw like the breadth of it, it's like holy shit. Like people are just doing their thing.
I will say this is the most I realized how many B level actors we had in this state.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, this person lives here or this person lives here. Oh, geez.
Also from like kind of just like my 9 to 5, I've also seen and hosted like air quotes red carpet events
Yeah.
for like some movie premieres for these like kind of just like homegrown Arizona films that are having it screening it to like a large audience for like the first time, and it's kind of like it's a heartwarming.
Yeah. And I mean, and something I do like by doing this podcast is like, we do episodes on a lot of big movies and whatnot, but I love the interviews we do just because like I feel like we're exposing people to a side of filmmaking, but also a level of filmmaking that they might have not even known existed. Because
Like
like
the inner workings of like how the movies are getting made, or the reason behind certain shots and stuff, really changes my perspective sometimes of how I felt about the movie.
yeah.
And I think it also makes it a little bit more feasible and approachable if it's like a hobby
Yeah.
that you want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you don't
Right.
have to start by getting like the most expensive Canon or something.
I mean, we've even talked on an old episode how, like, just YouTube as a platform has opened up filmmaking opportunities so much. And that, like, there are whole YouTube channels where their shtick is, like, getting beginner filmmakers making their short film, and then that's how they get their start and go into the film industry.
I mean, like one of the kind of big unsung heroes of it is like David F. Sandberg, who
Yeah.
made Lights Out as a horror short, eventually got asked to make Lights Out the horror movie, and then Shazam.
Yeah.
And then, and
Nice.
all other stuff like Annabelle and whatever. But, that's the one I care about, Shazam.
Shazam was good.
Yeah. And
And you can, he's still active on his YouTube. Like, he talks about learning Blender, and, like, just kind of, like, what kind of, like, stuff that he's learning.
oh yeah.
So he's still making, like, kind of just short films and live streams and shit.
And it's
Nice.
funny, you never know who, like, yeah, that's another fun aspect about doing the film festivals and doing these interviews is like you never know who's gonna pop off.
Mm-hmm.
You never know where someone's like career is gonna end up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can get a general idea based on what you see, but also like that can change drastically. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
just,
for sure.
it's just kind of fun, cause like, I mean, whoo, Mesa Local won Oscar for Best Supporting Actor
Oh, yeah.
for Coda.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember during the Oscars, we all just turned into fucking idiots, just going, "Yeah, he said Mesa."
Yeah,
But
we're on the map.
we exist. But what about you guys? How do you
Troy.
feel about what we've done so far?
Kevin, you go first.
Disappointed, regretted everything. All this extra work that we're doing. It's been no, I mean like I enjoy it, and it's one of the things that I kind of like look forward to. It's an avenue to kind of just like express, it's movie criticism, I guess, because like I'm not like an essayist or anything, but like
We know you get your opinions from Letterboxd.
oh yeah,
We
totally.
know.
Those fucking weirdos who just put down like dumb jokes as like reviews. But like it's it's a great way to kind of like digest a movie when normally you would just kind of like watch it and then internalize it, and then like that's the end of it. But it's
And then
kind
watch a YouTube video by Matt Pat explaining.
of explaining Five Nights at Freddy's. But like watching a movie and then kind of like thinking about it and digesting it and like talking it out and saying it out in person, like to you guys, kind of like is a very fulfilling and like satisfactory way to kind of like consume a movie,
Yeah.
you know? Because like I feel like if you just kind of like watch it, you get a taste of it, and then if you're not like reviewing it, like reviewing it adds a extra layer to a movie.
Yeah.
And it also like rounds out misconceptions, or it points out certain things that you might have not have seen during like your viewings. But like, yeah, stuff like that. So like the process has been like fun. Meeting other people has also probably just kind of like been my favorite thing about it, especially Arizona filmmakers. And the exciting part of it is the international ones that we've like seen. So like people have been like traveling the country and the world, promoting their movie and like getting a chance to talk to them.
Yeah.
So like, you know, eventually we'll be in one of those press junket trains where fucking someone just sits Margot Robbie down in a chair and we're in a line of different like E! News, Weekly, HBO, and then like moviereviewpunks.com.
Yeah.
And then it's like us, and then we're just gonna sit down in a chair, fire off like a couple questions, try to make jokes, and then they push us out. Eventually we'll get there.
Yeah.
that's the end goal right there. That's how we know we made it.
100%.
Or we start harassing people at red carpets. I
you go.
don't know. I don't know what the end goal is.
We do some video bits where we just happen to be somewhere
Or
high profile.
we turn into a film version of Mega 64.
just at cons, just
God.
rummaging around, going, "Hey, do you have any food? I don't like French food. I'm trying to find a burger, but no one will give one to me." No, yeah, I would like to do more video stuff. It's just kind of figuring out what to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something we're still working on.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. But no, like interviewing the people has. I do agree with you. Like talking with you guys about movies kind of opens up a bunch of different avenues of like analyzing and like just accepting what you watched, because there are some movies that like, and I think everyone has experienced this, where like you see it and you love this movie, but then when you start talking about it with people and actually like analyzing it, you're like, wow, it's a movie I love, but as a movie it's fucking awful. It's a god awful movie. And like
my favorite episodes are the ones where we have various opinions about a movie.
You mean Avatar 2?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Or-
I completely like turned you guys into.
Yeah. Totally. So no, just ones that we have like different opinions, I think are the most fun, especially
Did we
now.
have one low, one mid, and one high for the meter? Was that the overall opinion that we all had, or I was like, this movie sucks, and you're like, you like this movie?
No,
and...
I think for that one we ranged from low to mid.
We ended at like, I thought we ended at like a 6.7 or something like that.
Roughly. No, you want to know where we had low, mid, high? I think it was between Mad God and Skinamarink.
Yeah, I mean those ones for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
those
sense.
ones absolutely.
because like I loved Skinamarink.
And I shit on both of them.
Just drop their pants, just shit it out, and then there's a funnel. There's a
Yeah.
monster with a funnel just eating it and turning into other mics.
And no, and then the interviews have been, I am so proud of the interviews we've done.
Mhm.
Like I'm very happy with how they turn out.
It feels
and
nice when people say that like those are kind of like the best or the highlights of their festival, or like they say that we ask
I
good
feel
questions.
so good.
I'm just like, oh, thank you.
That makes me sweat.
that hits a dopamine trigger. Like
I think I have different experiences.
Yes,
No,
yes.
well,
like for me, like for me at least, like I love talking with people. Like that's just a given.
Mhm.
But the moment someone
You
says this
fucking
is the
weirdo.
highlight, I get really awkward because I'm like, oh, please don't say that to me. That makes me feel like that gives me too much credit here. I
No,
only
Mike-
speak, like
Mike's anxiety comes from stop lying. we both know you're saying that to be nice.
You know what's the best is that if we are able to like crack through someone's like professional bubble, and then they
Yeah.
start like relaxing and start talking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny
That's
is
always fun.
like especially the film festival interviews, we have some people where they're like, you actually asked really good questions, you actually got into it, you cared, and we're like, yeah. The one that made me the saddest, not because like she was sad or anything, but just because of what she said to us after the interview was done. And like, this isn't anything super revealing, so I don't think there's an issue sharing this, but it was our interview with the director and writer for Belle, which was
Belle?
or Bella, Bridget. It was Bridget, Bella, the dancing one.
Oh.
It was our.
It was like
interview-
the Mamoru Hosoda.
No.
Yeah, I was like trying to figure out what you
It's
were
like,
Sorry,
did we
sorry.
talk to Mamoru?
No,
Hosoda?
sorry. Our interview with Bridget Mernan.
Yeah.
Where like we were talking to her and she's like, "Oh, you guys actually watched the movie?" And we're like,
Yes.
and I was like, "Yeah. Why wouldn't we watch the movie before interviewing you?" And after the interview, she's like, "Wow, you guys actually watched it, and you like." That was probably the best interview I've done about this movie.
Mhm.
And I
It's
felt
so-
I felt happy that I made her like that, like I helped her like actually talk about her movie. But
But it was also kind of important to her.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a very personal movie to her, and like I really enjoyed talking about it with her. But I felt so bad when she's like, "Oh, you actually watched the movie." It's like, "Oh my god. How many people have you talked to that have just guessed what the movie is about?"
Oh, I figured they're
stabbed me a little bit. I was like,
I figure they're probably just kind of like career writers, or
Yeah.
it's their job, based on their publication wants a write up on something on
Yeah.
like
Right.
the movie, and so they just kind of like ask general questions. What's this movie about? What's in it?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
involvement? Who are you?
But no, and yeah, it's just interesting because when you talk to these filmmakers, like it's just you get a whole new perspective on like why they make things and just the passion behind it. And
Because
then-
like
one of the-
it's very fueled by passion.
yeah,
A lot of
I
these people
remember
are
the-
like super tired by the time we
Yeah.
get to them.
because literally Bridget was like, "I don't want to do film," and then even the Victoria Bruce,
Uh-huh.
director for Las Abogadas,
Yeah.
she's like,
yeah.
I'm not a filmmaker.
"I'm not a filmmaker. I hate filmmaking, but I'm probably gonna make another movie,
Yeah.
and I hate that I'm gonna make another movie."
I like seeing the I like to see one of the ones that I remember the most is the one that we saw at the Arizona Film Festival where Ritter's opinion changed based on the actual interview with the person.
I'm trying to remember.
It was about the one lady finding out about her family
Oh,
tree.
Last of the Winthropes.
Yeah, Last of the Winthropes.
I think my
You had a negative opinion, but once you started talking to her, she changed your opinion.
a little bit. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, hey, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna be honest for a second, but initially the movie was not my favorite. There were some production choices and stuff I wasn't a fan of. And there's still some of those. I still like no. Even if I love a movie, I'll always have criticisms of it. But talking to them and understanding the behind the scenes of why certain things were done.
Especially since we were talking to the entire staff.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fucking
the
crazy.
entire staff.
But yeah, getting a better understanding of the behind the scenes kind of explained a lot of what happened, and kind of made me go, okay, that makes sense. I can kind of give some leniency to that choice then. But no, that interview was crazy, and I felt so bad because I was
They only
like,
had the one mic.
yeah,
and
they
were
all were sharing a single mic. I'm like, hey, can you just pass it to each other?
Like as a
Oh,
bonfire.
they were so nice and thankful about
Oh.
that one too.
Yeah.
Ass crack early in the morning.
Oh God, yeah.
Even though it was like 10 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Also,
it was ass crack early
was
for
it-
Kevin.
Was it Ritter or Kevin that didn't realize that there was a bathroom
It was fucking
right next to
me.
us?
So
No, I
Yeah.
never used the bathroom.
near the end of
Yeah.
that interview, I had to piss so bad that I sprinted, and I come back and they're like, Ritter, there's a bathroom right there.
There's
I'm like, God damn it! But here's what's funny.
Man's
In
fighting.
sprinting to the bathroom, I scored us another interview.
Yeah.
By doing a piss
Which is-
handshake.
Yeah. Literally at the urinal, I'm like, hey, nice wiener. You want to do an interview? No.
Are you a JoJo fan?
I can tell by your penis.
But no, that's how I got the interview for
Shoot.
God, what was the name of that? It wasn't EK Boys, it wasn't Last of Us, it was not No Tomorrow. It was fuck. Cuz it was a good it was a sad movie.
Mhm.
Cuz it was
It
about
was-
the it was about the oh, Dear Audrey,
Audrey.
Jeremiah
Dear
Hayes.
Audrey.
Yeah. Jeremiah Hayes. Hey, thank you for
Yeah.
not being weirded out when I saw you in the lobby and went, "You're a filmmaker?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "We're interviewing filmmakers." He's like, "Cool. Hey, you want to do an interview?" And he's like, "Yeah." We exchanged business cards, and he's like, "I am leaving tomorrow morning on a flight. Can we do it today?" And I'm like,
Sure, right after your movie screening.
Yeah.
literally it was we watched the movie and the
He did the Q&A for that movie, and we like ran out.
We were like trying to set up our stuff.
yeah, cuz like, "Oh, we're going to do a quick Q&A," and Kevin, Mike and I went, "Fucking run." Went, set up our stuff, and he, as soon as the Q&A ended, he came over, interviewed with us. And then I think after our interview, he hopped in a car and left.
Yeah. He literally just left as soon as that interview ended.
Yeah. And then I think
The thing about like the Phoenix Film Festival and also the Women's Film Festival was that we met a lot of filmmakers that didn't go on to the record.
yeah.
Yes.
There are a lot of not promises, but like there are a lot of like, "Oh, we'd love to, record with you. We'd love to do an interview with you." But it was just there's no time.
Yeah.
There was a
we
kind
had
of like a lot of people that we like. Ideally, I wish we would have gotten to like kind of like everyone, but it was just like so welcoming that there wasn't a possible way we could watch every movie that every filmmaker that
And you got to
wanted to
think
talk to
of
us with.
time constraints too. On average,
Yeah.
each movie is 2 hours, and each interview is at least an hour.
Mhm.
Now, granted, luckily we've gotten to the point of like working these film festivals that A, we're comfortable enough to ask this, and B, we have the means to ask for this for like screener
Yeah.
copies and stuff,
Yeah.
which make festivals so much easier.
Yeah.
Holy
Uh,
fuck.
I will say, especially for the first time we did the Arizona Film Festival, we had to do everything on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of both weekends because we couldn't do it throughout the week. That
Yeah.
was rough.
Well, the weekdays we spent watching movies at the film festival, and then
Yeah.
the last Friday and Saturday
Yeah.
where we had a table set out in the sun,
Yep.
which
Yep.
was fun. No,
Yeah.
it was nice.
Yeah.
But no, Phoenix Film Festival, shout out. They are super accommodating. They welcomed us. They are a great festival, and
Made it really easy for us to do what we needed to do.
they not only that, they do so much good work in Arizona to promote filmmaking.
I mean, like Saturday morning was like Children's Family Day or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah, that
so
was wholesome.
So
Just throwing out as
the
many
background
stickers at those
of like
kids.
the background of the Ike Boys recording, and I don't remember if there was another one that we did that morning. Is just like the sounds of like children playing,
Yeah.
and laughing in the background. I don't know if it was like audible at all.
Oh, no. The funniest interview was with Jeremiah Hayes for Dear Audrey, where we're talking about this super deep and like depressing film about a filmmaker and his wife going through like dementia and whatnot. Meanwhile, in the background, you hear them testing party music to get ready for industry night.
Yeah.
So just perfect backdrop, but that gives flavor to the interview. I think gives
Yeah,
it
no, I love doing like these public
street
ones.
interviews. It's like Billy on the street, just like name a woman. What? Name a woman.
I will say, if we do another Arizona Film Festival, I'm bringing a sandwich next time, or a box lunch of some kind.
Yeah, it was quite funny because there were times where Mike is like, "Hey, let's go get something to eat," and we're like, "We
And then we have
can't.
an
We have the
interview.
next interview in 20 minutes," and Mike's like, "I'm dying."
I was dying. I was like, oh my god,
I
'Cause-
think.
yeah, the restaurants were there. They just weren't. The time management wasn't there,
Yeah.
though.
um,
Unfortunately.
But yeah, our other film festival, the International Women's Film Festival, shout out to them. Again, also super accommodating.
Shout out to
super
Kim and the
welcome.
girls.
Yes.
They were very accommodating too. They gave us all the films all the interviews we already had set up. We had a
They gave us
sh-
contacts. They gave us everything we needed.
Admission and everything.
And
Shout outs
We
to
just showed
the
up
Jewish Film
super
Festival
early.
that happened at the same time as Sunday. We're coming for you next.
yep.
We have infiltrated the women. Now we'll infiltrate the Jews.
God,
Good Lord.
could have been so many better ways to say that.
No, it's character. It's part of the podcast.
Yeah.
I think so far our quote unquote biggest profile interview has been Seth Kearsley.
Yeah, for Kingdom Hearts and like just his career in general.
because
Yeah.
he did the Adam Sandler 8 Crazy Nights
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
stuff, and
And
like,
hearing just his whole spiel.
he was
and-
so fun. Just
Yeah.
talking about paper mache dicks.
Which is
Yeah.
why I say it's very
That's all film and art school is.
Yeah, that's
Is a bunch of weirdos
that's-
making paper mache cocks.
yeah.
Yeah, when we were talking to him, I was like, man, I don't know if any film student could even replicate what you've done at our current time.
I mean, he was a hoot, and like,
Yeah.
check out his Netflix show. God, what was it called again? It's animated. It's about bears.
We bear bears.
No, hold on.
Because he was trying to get that off the ground.
No. That got off the ground. He was actively in production for it when we talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
But where is his IMDb? Because I want to shout it out because he honestly was a super cool guy. He did not have to do the interview with us.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I sent him the driest DM imaginable, and he was like, "Oh, Brown and Friends. It's on Netflix. It's actually pretty fun. I recommend it." But no, he has worked in so much shit for animation.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
has done so much.
Also, kind of like self-fulfilled or like self-taught.
Oh,
for
yeah.
most of it. Because
Yeah.
like we kind of like talked about it in that episode. It's just like stumbling into the job and trying not to get fired.
Yeah.
That was like his life, and I guess us right now is just kind of fucking just stumbling dick first, and then trying not to get kicked out.
Oh,
Try not
yeah.
to get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
That's our real goal is just not to get canceled.
No, we just need we need people to look at our tweets to get canceled. So that's not an issue.
Yeah, and
fair enough.
like yeah, because he had a show that he had been trying to get off the ground, but willy nilly,
Oh yeah, he was also like Mummy's Alive.
and then
He
yeah,
stumbled into that project.
Mummy's Alive is now 25 years old, and then
Rent a car.
it was the 20th anniversary of 8 Crazy Nights this year. No, he
That is not a technical foul.
Yeah. Not a technical foul. No. Honestly, super fun interviewing with him. Seth, if you're listening to the episode for any fucking reason, we would love to interview you again or just have you on the show to review another movie. We don't care. We love you.
Let me ask you guys this. From where we started to where you guys are now, how has your way of reviewing movies changed?
Well, our format for the show has changed drastically. Because
Yes.
we used to basically do a play-by-play of the entire movie.
Which is like, you know, what you talk about after the movie when you like go out to Buffalo Wild Wings after seeing it.
Yeah.
Right.
And for the most part, it's also because some of those movies are kind of insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, then our the format, if you can call it being a format, because we
Format.
kind of just like talk and go in different directions and shit, is a little bit more it's refined.
I'll say this. I think the more we liked a movie, the more we stayed talking about the movie.
Yeah.
When we didn't care for the movie as much, we would go on tangents just because
To fill time.
Yeah, not even to like fill time, just because that's just how we are, to like compare it to something else that we think is better
I think
or it was done better,
I
or
think
like
that's
just our opinions on that.
That's true most of the time, but there are probably also some good movies where it was like, this movie's great. Let's talk about something else.
well, because there are some movies where like we really don't want to spoil it because like talking about some of the plot points literally ruins your initial like watch of it.
That's true.
I also think that our like discussions of movies have become a little bit more pointed, meaning that we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the movie a little bit easier than we used to.
We're slightly more concise.
Yeah.
Slightly. Because
Not even
My,
concise. I mean like we don't always focus surface level as much as we used to.
like I know my ability to review movies has drastically changed, like since the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, because
But I think that's because I had the most room to grow, I guess. Since I think if you guys remember correctly, I just loved watching movies. I didn't actually form opinions about them. I just liked any movie you showed in front of me.
I think
you're just rocking back and
Yeah.
forth, clapping.
Yeah, I was
Put more pictures.
literally the audience member was that would just clap if like I would like if I was allowed to just see a movie.
I think there was also a brief time where like Kevin and I would start talking about like the deeper themes and like messages of a movie, and you would go like, "That was part of the movie?"
Yeah, I would miss themes a lot.
But you
because
pick
I really,
up on them.
I really
a lot
watched
more
them like
now.
surface level.
Yeah, but you pick up on that a lot more now than you used to.
Oh, for sure. Like that's why I said like I had a huge growth over the course of like how I watch movies now. Like talking, like the interviews helped a lot with that, with like what I should be looking for, or like how like a movie is put together, gave me a better understanding of how to watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how English classes in like middle school and elementary school taught you how to read a book, is where you're like, because you would read like one chapter in class together and then you kind of just like discuss it and stuff, and so that's kind of like how this has been for like movies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we like kind of just watch the entire thing and then just kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have this podcast of some of your film nerd friends saw the movie with you and you're all talking about it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, because I noticed this recently. I watched the movie with some friends, and I realized how much different I viewed the movie compared to they did. And I was like, oh,
When you guys like talk
I
about it,
actually reached that point. Oh no, I became the veteran. I'm the
You became the
progress-
dork.
I became the guy who knows who understands the themes and the things that happen in the background. Oh no.
Yeah. But no, I've been super happy with what we've done with the podcast, and I mean like it's not like we have a big viewership, but we have some people. Shout out Germany.
Germany.
Cuz for some reason we have a decent amount of people from Germany.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we're like, and we've got things that we're kind of like discussing for possible like additional things to do for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Just like possibly additional content and or like ways, like different ways of doing things and whatnot.
Mhm.
And like just keeping up on the YouTube channel too, because like that gets a lot of like reach.
We still also plan on like visiting other film festivals and stuff.
100%. I think
Yeah.
Especially like the ground, like going to the film festivals and like seeing ground level like filmmakers, I think is also kind of like appreciated by people, by those filmmakers themselves.
yeah.
Like having people actually like watch their stuff and
Even though the joke,
getting a chance to talk about it.
even though the joke
Right.
we always make is, hey, we're gonna be honest, we're trying to leech off of you for clout. So
One day it'll be like,
so
we
temper
wanna get
your
actual-
expectations. But
One day we might be able to say, "Don't worry, we want to get as many people to hear about your movie as
yeah,
Hey,
Uh,
you look like you could need some help.
I
How'd you like a leg up
yeah.
and add one extra person to that viewership? Get that one
Yeah.
extra person in your box office.
I still have my penultimate goal is to somehow bullshit our way into TIFF, the
That'd be
Toronto
funny.
International Film Festival.
I don't think that's not like a status obstacle, right? Like that's a financial thing, right?
It could.
It's partly financial for sure.
It's partly both.
Yeah, unless it's like the only press they allow is if like you have a certain number of like viewership.
Like their press accreditation is probably more stringent, and then not only that, but also press, although get more access, they still have to pay. So,
Sure.
Mhm.
like I said, it's a mixture of both. And yeah, until that Patreon be bumping, that's a hurdle.
Let me ask you this then: what movies do you want to? What movie genres do you guys want to try to reach for more this coming quote unquote season?
Genre.
Because if you think about the genre of movies we've seen so far, I mean, I like to think we've seen a good handful of each.
We're kind of doing like a horror kick right now.
Yeah.
We've been on a horror kick for a good minute.
I mean, it is Halloween time, so.
It is.
But
Halloween. So now we have to review the Nightmare Before Christmas.
On Halloween.
yeah. But
It's not a Christmas movie.
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, because we've talked about it before. Like, horror movie is where a lot of filmmakers start off. I would like to see more ground level like dramas,
Yeah.
because those are ones that aren't too common, and those are ones where you have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's where you can get just those like diamonds in the rough that don't quite make it out, but they should. So, I mean,
We
I
should
would,
look into Korean dramas then.
yeah. I mean, there was a Korean international film at the international, was it at the International Women's Film Festival or at the Phoenix Film Festival?
I don't know which one you're referring to.
I think it was at the Phoenix Film Festival. There was a Korean international short film that was shown.
Well, they had like an international section, and I think the women's also had one too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like a lot of film festivals have like a.
Are you talking about
International,
the mother and daughter
Which one?
one?
No.
That was not Korean. That was like French.
No, he's talking about the You're talking about
Wait, no,
It's
he
the
never
one
saw that
I
movie
wasn't
with
there
us.
for.
Far Away. Yeah, no. That was
Yeah.
That was. Cool. Yeah, that was good.
that was yeah. It was good,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
no, we're talking no, and then I think the one you're thinking of is Siebel's Silence.
Sibyl Silence.
Yeah, which was I'm sorry to this filmmaker. Was fucking awful. I
I'm the
Which
opposite.
one was that one?
You never saw
you
it.
didn't see it,
Oh, okay.
which is fine.
That
You
was the day
saved
you
yourself.
didn't show up for the film festival.
Literally,
Oh, okay.
because Kevin, myself, and Kevin, my wife, and I saw it, and we came out of the movie. Kevin was like,
Changed.
oh, it was okay, it did this, and meanwhile, Patricia and I are like, that was terrible. I hated it. They're like, listen,
God, it's depression porn.
but bad.
Where it's like everything happening is depressing. You know, kid getting impregnated and getting sold into human trafficking.
But it's not even done well.
A woman like kind of adopting her and also being in a bad relationship. It's not even abusive. I think there wasn't anything inherently
But they were
wrong.
already
The guy did.
separated.
Yeah, whatever. They had like, you know, their fight and whatever, and they were like separated. And it was just like everyone constantly being sad and depressed, and the little girl always trying to kill herself.
But then the mom just leaving her home alone for like hours at a time, even though she's suicidal.
And it was like, oh yeah, this is French, all right.
This is a movie. But
It was the movie of all time.
But yeah, I mean, again, I'm happy with what we've done so far, and yeah, it's 100 episodes over like a 3-year time span because of various breaks and.
But
like,
we didn't stop.
We didn't stop.
No,
We
We
paused.
have not
we
stopped.
through perseverance and
Dedication.
dedication.
Yeah, we've had long spans where we had to pause.
Because Ritter wants to go to a foreign country or do something else for a bit.
I have
As of recording, Baldur's Gate is making waves set like a month after its release, and Ritter really wants to leave right now.
no, I
Steam
finished
is
it.
in the background, with just the play button for Baldur's Gate.
No,
right
shut
there.
up. But no, I'm happy with what we've done so far, and I am very happy and very surprised how much progress we've made over 100 episodes, and I am super excited and hopeful of what we can accomplish over another 100.
Yeah, so I'm looking for more opportunities to, just like watch more, big name like movies, and getting a chance to eventually like interact with those filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's cool that we sometimes like get to see like Megan or Creed 3 a little bit earlier than everyone else, and then we get to have like the actual like reviewer thing of like, remember to catch this movie tomorrow
Yeah.
or this Friday at this date, and it's like,
Or we have to do
instead of recording it after the fact and then releasing it several weeks down the line when we're like, remember to catch Oppenheimer -5 weeks ago.
or when we have to, or when we really get those big podcaster balls and be like, when's the embargo date?
or when we get to watch a movie before it releases and then review it months later. Due to like incompetence or laziness.
Or
No,
because of
I-
a fucking stacked release
I
schedule.
love our mobile recording room.
The mobile podcast studio, also known as the back of my car.
The magic happens.
No, the
Yeah.
fucking. I always make jokes of just the ego when I get to ask, "Hey, when's the embargo lift on the review?"
Ah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like for
When am I able to drop this hot bar right now? They're gonna record some fire, but you need to let us know when we can pull the trigger.
Yeah, that was.
I think what Creed and Hannah
Uh,
were the only two that had a slight
no, you think
embargo.
like Megan and then
Megan.
Megan
Ritter also asked about Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
Yeah.
but we still reviewed it after
like
the
2
release.
weeks after it came out. Oh,
So it literally didn't matter.
oh no!
Also, the Demeter, we saw it like a year prior.
well,
But
two of
because-
us did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like we reviewed it a month after when there are now like 12 people watching it every day.
No, hold on. Our review of Voyage came out like a week and a half after it came out.
It was about a week, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
well,
it wasn't that long. Not
it's
only
not
that,
too bad.
but you and I were under NDAs. We literally were not allowed to do anything about it until it came out.
yeah, no. But I talked about how like, what if we just record it and then just bank it, just
Yeah.
store it
Yeah,
until
bank
like
it.
Voyage of the Last Demeter released, and then we're like, catch Voyage Last Demeter he thought he liked it and I didn't.
Yeah.
Coming this Friday, September whatever.
But no, we did wait, hold on. Didn't we do that with Northman too? Where we asked about, because we saw that like a week early.
I don't know if it was week. I
We
thought
were-
it was like just a Tuesday.
We didn't have an embargo on that one, fortunately, though. We were allowed to just talk about it the one we.
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
that's right. We were.
Yeah,
And we recorded
Because
it,
that
and
one
that
came
was
out
our only
because
one we did early.
we released that one before the movie came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
'cause
the
you
one of the
recorded-
few
you
that we were
recorded
allowed
that
to actually
Tuesday.
release early.
You released it Wednesday and then it came out that Thursday.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those.
Okay.
But like, yeah, no. In general, embargo I think has been like just a week prior to release.
Yeah.
Or
we
like the week release week.
we've gotten on the cool like slightly early screenings, but never on the like actual like press. We did do one,
It
but
hit 3,000 years of longing. And
Yeah.
did we
Yeah.
release that on time?
yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah,
I made
no.
sure we released that on time. Motherfucker, when we got that, I was like, fuck you. I'm making sure this gets out on time.
I think it was partly because we also ran out of like ammunition for recording.
No. That's
So
that's actually also something we've improved on as the podcast went on, is how we're doing our releases and how we're
Mhm.
setting up our recordings too. Because
Yeah,
we were getting into serious issues of like outdated movie reviews coming out, thus causing further outdated movie reviews. So
no, us having a backlog of like B-roll movies, I think really helped us.
yeah, and like we're still working on like our process, and I think we've gotten a better process down. So
I also want to just like stress like we're not prioritizing trying to get like the big movie out before it releases or like soon after release. Like we're still watching things
Yeah.
on our own time. We're
This
still
is still a
we're still
hobby for
genuine.
us.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
not like we're clout chasing or anything, because a lot of the movies we talk about are just movies we legitimately wanted to see.
True.
But no,
Like,
yeah.
one that will forever stick with me is gonna be the Iron Mask one.
You mean the
That will
Chinese
for-
Space Marines?
That will forever be burned into my mind of
Mhm.
just what a movie that was.
And how somehow Iron Mask 2 is infinitely better than Iron Mask 1?
because they got rid of
Yes.
the main character
Yeah.
and gave it to Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Such a
Uh.
trip. But, you know, any other thoughts before we close out our remembrance episode?
Yeah, just just keep listening. Grind out those play views.
Rise and
Yeah.
grind, gamers.
Use just play all the episodes on several quantum computers and just put them on loop. Raise
Because
those
we can't afford it.
raise those numbers because we can't afford Russian bots. And then eventually people will see that our viewership numbers are of a significant amount and be like, "Yo, we invite you to Sundance or something." I don't know.
God, Kevin, I think you would actually call me back right away if I texted, "Hey guys, clear up this time. We got invited to Sundance." I think I might send that text and then all of a sudden see of my phone ringing and it being Kevin and him going, "This is a bit, right? Like this isn't real." And then I send back a text like, "No, here's the email." I see he goes, "No, cancel. No, say no."
I'm checking with my people to see if those are legitimate contacts.
Yeah. But yeah, Mike,
That'd be
any
funny.
final thoughts from you?
Any final thoughts?
What are you looking forward to in the next 100 episodes?
What I'm looking forward to the most are probably like the random adventures that the podcast brings us upon, like the film festivals and stuff like that.
Get back on the road.
Yeah. Like I like the interviews even though I only talk 20% of the time during them.
That's
'Cause
pretty
I
close to
can't think of
33.
good que-
That's pretty close to 33%.
Well, no, because it's 20% me. 40% probably goes to the actual interviewee, and then you guys fight over the
last
remaining 40%.
Kevin and I, off screen, just are each armed with a colored pencil, just going fuck off.
I don't know. I'm pretty like unprofessional about it. Like you guys actually have like notebooks and questions you like write down. I just kind of like watch the movie and then.
No, what you do is you look up a different language on how to speak to the person.
Motherfucker. You find out they speak another language and you go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking drip out this interview."
It's only happened
Don't
twice.
Don't think I forgot.
Cuz no, wait.
It was French and Japanese. Those are
And
the only
Spanish.
I didn't.
Las Abogadas.
I don't remember saying. I think I did that as like a joke. I don't remember if I said anything.
But
Bienvenido.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Oh God, my Spanish vocabulary.
But anyways,
Kyowa.
for all of our listeners that have been with us since episode 1 or have joined us along the way, we really do appreciate it. Again, like, we plug the Patreon, we plug everything, but even if you don't give anything, just listening, we really appreciate it. And
Just listening to our voice.
listening to our ramblings, and like follow us on Twitter. We post occasionally, and like we would love to see people on there. We plug our Patreon because we have a Discord that we have available for Patreon subscribers, and like we would love to be able to talk to some people that like love movies like we do or listen to the podcast. And and even if you don't do any of that, if we just happen to meet you at a film festival, please come say hi. We would love to talk to you guys. And frankly, just in general, we're going to keep this going because we love doing it. And, here's to another 100.
Yeah. Hopefully it we'll crank those out in less than 3 years.
Yes. We'll have the next 100 episodes uploaded by the end of the year. Just one a day. It's going to happen. But with that, I'm Ritter.
Our goal will be within 2 years this time.
Yes.
That's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
That is very reasonable. That's why I said within 2.
Yeah.
With that, I'm Ritter.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
And
Here's an
see
intro
you
song for
soon.
movie podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buns.